So you want to learn how to make graphics for Instagram? Well, you've come to the right place, my friend. In today's video, I'm going to show you an in-depth tutorial about how to use Canva to create beautiful and shareable graphics for your Instagram feed. But before we can dive into the how, I feel like we need to discuss the why. Here is why graphics are so important to a good Instagram strategy. Not only are graphics a really great way to provide value to your followers, it's also a way to encourage people to share your content, which then allows for more organic growth. Let me explain. If you post a photo of yourself, like this for instance, very few people are going to share it to their story because there's not a lot of meaning behind it. Like, why would they be sharing that? What's the purpose? What do people get out of seeing that shared to their story? Like, they just won't, right? You kind of know inherently, why would someone share that to their story? It's kind of weird. However, if you post a graphic like this that provides information, inspiration, or motivation to your ideal audience, that is the kind of thing that they might share to their story because they want to impart that same message onto their followers. It's obvious, right? Out of these two kinds of content, the graphic is something that is more widely applicable to a larger audience, and it provides value right in the imagery, which makes it perfect for sharing to a story. And when people share your content to their story, it naturally increases the reach of your post, which of course increases the chance that new potential followers might see your content and come back and follow you. So it's pretty clear the benefits of posting graphics to your feed. You end up with higher reach and more organic growth. But how often should you be posting graphics to your feed? It's really going to depend on your niche and your target audience. Some personal brands will have half of their content be graphics or quotes and the other half be photos of them. Some people do it much less often. To be honest, I really can't give you a specific rate of how often you should be doing this because it really does come down to your own audience's preferences, and the only way you can learn that is by experimenting. For a while, I posted a graphic or a quote every other time on my feed, with the other photos being of me. Now what I like to do is integrate them into album posts. So what I'll do is I'll make the first image a photo of me, and then when you swipe, the second image is a quote or a graphic of some kind. The reason why I like that strategy a lot for personal brands is because it hits on two of the most important strategies when it comes to generating engagement on Instagram. The first one is I'm catching people's attention with my face. I'm familiar to them. They know who I am, so they stop scrolling and they're like, oh, that's a photo of Katie. Then if I can grab their attention with an interesting caption headline, they might just swipe to the second frame and see an interesting quote, which they may connect with and then end up sharing to their story. So if you haven't already, I would really recommend trying out that strategy of doing an album where it's a photo of you and then a quote, and also experiment with posting just straight up graphics and see how your engagement changes. And based on that, decide how frequently you want to use these in your strategy. So we know it's important to use graphics, and we're going to experiment to see how often we should use them, but what kind of posts actually make sense to have a graphic with them. In my opinion, strategic graphics on Instagram fall into three main categories. The first one is education. So this might be an album full of graphics that is primarily text-based and provides a lot of information on a specific topic. The second one is quotes, and you see these shared a lot. These are usually kind of more general or more poetic or action-oriented quotes. The kind of thing that really sticks out to somebody and makes them want to click share. And it's usually not that long. And the third one is a category that I call aesthetic infographics. Basically, this is any kind of cute illustration or like mood board type graphic that portrays an emotion or maybe some information, but the general purpose of it is to be beautiful and fit in with the theme of your grid and kind of show your brand style. I'll admit that I am not an expert at using graphics in an Instagram strategy. If you go to my page, you'll see that I use a lot of photos of myself. I do sprinkle in quotes and graphics here and there. So I wanted to share a couple profiles that I would recommend you checking out if you want to see examples of people who do this very well. In terms of educational graphics, I highly recommend checking out Glow Graphics on Instagram. She shares graphics every other image, and they're always very informative and very well designed. Another great account for value-packed graphic album posts is Vanessa Lau. We all know and love her. She gives amazing advice for entrepreneurs, and she does it very well using Instagram graphics. If you want to see somebody who uses quotes in a very effective way, check out Avery Francis on Instagram. Every other image on her feed is a quote, and I swear every time she posts, I see it reshared on like 5 or 6 stories of people that I'm following. And if you want to check out who I consider to be the queen of like aesthetic graphics and illustrations, then you should check out Haley Drew This. She makes these adorable graphics that I don't know, I aspire to make stuff that is that cute and recognizable and on brand, but also tells a story. So now that we're equipped with a plan and a strategy, it's time to show you how to actually craft these graphics using Canva. I think it's important that you figure out what your intentions are, what your plans are, what your strategy is before you just dive in and start creating. Otherwise, the content that you make is not gonna be as effective as it could be. So before we dive in, a massive thank you to Canva for sponsoring this video. Honestly, guys, this brand deal was like a match made in heaven because you know how I've mentioned Canva before. I think it's an awesome tool for Instagram creators and beginner graphic designers. I used to pretty exclusively use Photoshop, but once I finally gave Canva a try, I realized just how fun and convenient it is. So now my team and I use it for creating client graphics and so much more. So I really do recommend it, and you probably already have tried it. Let's be honest, it's pretty universal at this point, but I'm excited to show you how I use it to create graphics for Instagram. So when you go ahead and sign up for Canva at the link in my description, once you're logged in, you can press create a design, and you can actually start typing in Instagram to see all of the different templates that they've created in the correct sizes for different kinds of Instagram content. So for this example, I'm going to make an Instagram feed post. You can start by browsing the many templates that Canva has to offer, and you can start with something and then kind of alter it to suit your own brand, which I love. You can search for different things like quote or graph or infographic, or you can browse through things based on themes like summer, love, and coronavirus. Once you find a template that you generally like the look of and kind of suits the sort of graphic that you're trying to make, you can select any component within that design and change the color or the font so that you can make sure that it suits your brand. Obviously, you can change the text to say whatever you want it to say, or you can add extra text boxes if you don't have enough space. Or if you want to be really creative, you can completely start from scratch and just add different visual elements that you can find in Canva. My favorite tip for finding cute graphics of a similar style is to start by searching a keyword that is related to whatever you want to actually include in your graphic. So let's say you want to include something to do with yoga. So you can search yoga. And then from there, you can find a graphic that kind of suits the visual style that you were going for. And once you select it and add it to your artwork, then you'll see the magic recommendations pop up, which will show you other elements that are in the same visual style. So this really helps you create a consistent theme and style across all of your graphics, because not only are you using something that thematically makes sense, so like a woman doing yoga, but you can also find other images that have the same kind of artistic style through the magic recommendations. As you get better at designing, instead of just using templates all the time, you can start to design your own templates. One of the ways that you can do this as a beginner is by stealing like an artist. And basically what that means is go and look at people's work who you admire and try to replicate it. Now, the major caveat to that is I would recommend not posting this content. Don't go and just completely copy what somebody else has done and then post it to your Instagram, but you can use that as an exercise to get better at designing. So of any of the accounts that I mentioned earlier in this video, go ahead, go to their profile, pick a graphic that you love, and see if you can recreate it in Canva. Doing this over and over again is what will give you the confidence to start creating designs from scratch. So for example, I really love the cute graphics that the account The Every Girl posts on their Instagram feed. So I'm going to quickly show you how I would go about replicating that style of post using Canva. All right, I've got my laptop and I've opened up to Canva. So I'm going to show you how I would recreate this graphic from The Every Girl on Instagram. And hopefully it'll give you a bit of insight into how you can start designing your own graphics and a few really sweet Canva hacks that you might not know about yet. So first things first, when you're thinking about replicating a style that you like, I like to look at the post and think about, okay, what about this do I really like? I like that there are some clean lines. We see these product images on a background. There is a fun kind of pink squiggle, and then we've got text at the top. So let's start by going over to Canva, and the first thing I'm going to do is work on creating a little bit of a background. So I'm in the elements section here, and I'm just going to go ahead and search for squiggle and see if I can find something to kind of fill in the background. So obviously there are a lot of options here. I think that I'm just going to reference my image again. I think that I'm going to try using this one. And what I'm going to do is blow it up to make it quite big. And of course, I'm going to change the color. So you can look through the default colors. I have brand colors up for a client, and you can also just totally select your own color. So I might end up changing this again later, to be honest, but let's just start with that. Then if we want to add text, you can add a heading, or you can choose some of these styles on the side. I'm just going to make my own heading. Some products I'm loving right now. You can change the font, of course. I actually really like that kind of handwritten font. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And something else that I liked about this post on Instagram is that there's kind of like a background to the text. So what I'm going to do is actually grab from the top of the element section, there's just like a basic shape section. So I'm going to get a square or a rectangle. I actually like that that has like a drop shadow to it. And I will make it the right size for my text. If you want to move 2 items at once, you can hold down Shift and select several layers. Let's see, there's something about this that's just not hitting right. So I'm going to look at my thing. Yeah, I think it's because the squiggle is on a different angle. So I'm actually going to take that and rotate it. Yeah, something about that just feels better. I think I also want to make it like a much lighter color. Again, I think I might change up all of these colors later, but I think that I feel a little bit better about that. Now comes the fun part. All we're gonna do is go to a website. So I'm gonna go to just Sephora.com, and I'm just gonna pick random products for this, to be honest, because I don't really buy stuff from Sephora anymore. This looks good. So we'll just open up this product and I don't know, let's get this one, I guess. Or no, I like those colors. So what you can do is open up the product photo, and if you right click and copy your image, when you go back over to Canva, just like click into the sort of editing panel and then press Command V or Control V, and you have your product photo. Now, of course, you can see there is like a white background to it, but worry not. All you have to do is select the photo. Sometimes it can take a couple minutes. See, it says, please wait for the source image to finish uploading. So we're just going to give that a minute, and then I'll click back in. And now you can see effects is available. So I'm going to click on effects, and then I can choose remove background. It'll just take a couple seconds, and you'll see that the white background is removed from the image. So now we have this awesome product photo that you can see our like pink stripe go in behind. So let's grab a couple more photos and do the same thing. Now that I've got my product photos in here, I'm feeling like the original colors I selected aren't really cutting it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and select my squiggle and go back into the colors. The cool thing is now that I've got photos uploaded, there's actually already a color palette that generates based on the images that I've uploaded. So now I can select colors that might suit a little bit better for this particular group of images. And there you have it. That's how you can compile a little bit of a collage, just like I found on the Every Girl. And it's really as simple as that. You can create really beautiful and shareable graphics for your Instagram feed. And you can do that just by using Canva, which you can sign up for free using the link in my description. So thanks again, Canva, for sponsoring this video. I hope you found it helpful to see my process of creating graphics. If you're not sure how these kinds of posts can fit into your overall strategy, then check out this playlist all about Instagram strategy and content creation. I think the videos there are going to help you out when it comes to figuring out what kinds of content makes sense for your ideal audience. As always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I will see you over in this video. Okay, bye.